Good morning, everybody. I'm here with the amazing psychic Biz Cross. We're going to do a mind probe today. How you doing?
Oh, great. I don't know anything really about this guy, but I know that this was a popular request.
So Pavel Durov is the creator of Telegram. For those that don't know, it is a messaging app as well as a social media app. I would consider it both. And also now it also has its own cryptocurrency as well. So it's definitely pushing the limits of technology for sure. And because it's not regulated by anyone, it attracts a lot of attention from world governments. So we're going to find out what the deal is here. I'd like to bring in our friend John, actually. I think he would be a good person to help us if we could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got him here on standby. This
All right.
guy's going down. Okay. He is going down in flames.
Yeah. So for those also some background, he's originally Russian. When he started the app, I watched actually an interview with him and oh, what's that interviewer's name? It's probably here. Hit this guy. What's his name again?
Tucker
Yeah,
Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. Yeah, so I watched an interview with him, and it was interesting. So he was saying that he left Russia because they were going to try and squeeze him for money there because he's a bajillionaire, by the way. He's got more, like tons of money. Um, and so he left Russia. I think he went to the United Arab Emirates. They gave him a passport there, and then also France. I'm pretty sure he has a French passport. So those are the two, and just been like traveling the world. He was traveling the world basically looking for a place, a home base, to do his social media mogul thing. And it was hard to find a good place. He came to the States and he didn't really like it there, and he traveled the world a bit. And now he has been arrested, I think like 48 hours ago in France under charges of, I think like drug trafficking and, pornography or something like that. But it's not him that's doing those things, it's people on his platform. So he's being held accountable for things that are being done on his platform, with or without his knowledge. I guess they're going to find that out. But the argument for me is that, well, I mean, listen, if you're the owner of like a telecommunications company, this is my opinion, by the way, obviously. If you're the owner of a telecommunications company, say, and say Verizon or something in the US you'd be familiar with, is the CEO liable for any crimes that are committed with a telephone on their service? Because that seems to be the logic of these charges. So the charges seem to be a little bit trumped up, for me. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Other people can
But
disagree with
but
that.
sorry, but that's where we find in these probes. Sorry about that. I just had to get this out, but that's where we find in these probes all the time where the government puts the onus on the app, right? So if it's PayPal, if it's um Zelle, which is what we use over here in the States, Cash App, Stripe, all of these things, the governments put the onus on the banks and the people that run the platforms and the companies. And you're right about, well, does that mean that every telephone company is responsible? I don't know why they make it responsible for, make them responsible for the apps when you're right, the telephone. I don't get it. I don't get it. I
Yeah,
guess the difference is the algorithm. Okay, so let's ask this question to our friend John, MCAF, is it FEE, the one
yeah.
that allegedly committed suicide in jail? Um, is it because of the amount of monitoring and is it because of the algorithms? He says they're responsible. He says that's the law. If they want to operate a business within, a certain country, even though it's a worldwide thing, it goes worldwide across the board. But if it's operating in that particular country or countries, they have to be responsible. But I don't even know how on Telegram you would monitor that, because isn't it like a text channel?
Yeah, in some ways it's like texting between people, right? But it's also groups. So somebody can start a group and then you can have a whole bunch of people in a conversation. It can also be like a news thing where you can just post
Mm.
things in a group and nobody else can comment. It can be used many different ways. So it's in some ways it's like a messaging service one to one, like you're talking over the phone. You can do, video calls and audio calls, or you can do conference calls. And then also it's kind of like a news thing as well, because people are posting news in like a group and then people are having a discussion like in a forum. So it's really, something it's complicated, right? It's not just one thing. It's a technology that's multi use. And so how would you police that? That's a good question.
I
If you didn't
I
if you
don't
didn't
know.
if you didn't start from the beginning, it would be very hard to. And this is something that's, it's running in different, like obviously anybody in any country can download the app, right? But then take it a bit further. Like, how do you get this app? Well, it's available on the App Store. It's available on Apple Store. It's available on Android. So aren't they responsible for offering that app as well?
No, that I'm getting a no on that. Okay. We haven't got into probing this guy direct yet,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
they're gonna try to close Telegram. That is their goal. They don't like it. They don't like that it's not regulated. Um, Twitter, X, Facebook, TikTok, a little bit, YouTube, all of that is censored.
Yes.
Telegram is not.
Hmm.
Okay. And
Absolutely.
even though Elon Musk allows some free speech on there, um, more than most, it's still regulated.
Yeah, he's
Now,
too much
I'm
in the matrix to be able to be, out of the line of complete, do whatever he wants to some degree.
But
Big
what
mistake.
about WhatsApp? Because WhatsApp is encrypted end to end. So,
No, it's quote unquote encrypted end to end. Trust me, there's a backdoor in that for sure. Ask John. Is WhatsApp encrypted end to end?
no,
No.
I did
He
not
did.
know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so WhatsApp was bought up by Facebook, so they just spy on everybody on WhatsApp.
So let's ask this question. How did they get into WhatsApp? It's all logged. All the
Yeah.
information is logged. Is it attached to the phone number? Yes. And so will they release those details over to the authorities? If there is a warrant or a subpoena or anything like that, yes.
Oh yeah.
But what about conversations? Physical conversations? No.
No.
Okay, so if you're calling one to one through WhatsApp, no. Text conversations? Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. So are they actively monitoring it? No. That's the difference. For WhatsApp, it's not active monitoring.
Right.
So why did this come about on Telegram? So I'm asking our friend John here, and he says it's been under investigation for a long time, and it's just building and building and building as a safe haven for criminals, right? And they're saying that this guy has to be able to put some sort of stop in to not allow criminal elements onto Telegram. But I don't even know how he would do that. He would have to show, okay, so what I'm getting is he would have to show that he has as many algorithms as possible in place to police the site.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
a lot of stuff going on that is not good.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
child crimes against children, a lot of trafficking going on back and forth. It's almost like it's operating on the dark web. A lot of swapping of um, images and things like that involving children. This is really about, I feel this so strongly, and John is telling me this is about crimes against children. Now, this
Mm.
guy's been warned many times over, and he just didn't really care. So let's bring him in and
Yeah,
let's
let's bring
ask
him
him
in.
some questions.
So is he like, is he complicit in some of the dark stuff that goes on Telegram, or is he just, ignoring it?
So let's ask him. Pavel, are you, it's funny because some countries pronounce it Pavel, and then sometimes in the US you can hear it pronounced Pavel, but I'm calling him he's like it's Pavel. Okay. So Pavel, what do you think about your he thinks he's been done dirty. And I'm saying, but were you warned prior to your arrest? Yeah, they've always been after me. Okay. But what did you do to prove that you were not allowing criminals, or especially like when it comes down to indecent images and videos and all of that of children? What did you do about that? I didn't do anything. Okay, there's the problem. He's not willing to comply with those regulations.
So is this feeling like it's just all or nothing? Like it's either he just lets it run free, or he just is not willing to put any sort of policing on. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not like he's
Yes.
willfully.
Are you willing to put any sort of policing on? Well, they're going to make me, aren't they? I mean, he's not happy about this, but have you tried? No.
Yeah.
No, there's no policing on Telegram at all.
No.
Okay. And
No.
he's saying that's very costly. I'm going to have to hire a whole slew of workers and spend millions and millions and possibly billions of dollars to put into policing the site. That's not what this site is about. This site is about the ability for people to talk freely, the ability to post freely, and the ability to do business freely.
Hmm.
Okay. And he's saying, and that's, people should regulate and police themselves. I shouldn't have to police them.
Right. Okay. That's his philosophy. All right. So we understand where he's coming from. Okay. So does he feel that his life is in danger?
Do you feel your life is in danger? Yes, he's actually had several death threats and a few near misses.
Okay.
And he's tried to stay underground. Like he really, you know, doesn't really go out in the public much. He keeps
Yeah.
it all to a minimum. Okay. He
So
he does.
speaking on that, he was traveling with someone, this woman here. I don't know if we have her. Oh yeah, we do have her name, I think. Or maybe we don't have her name. She's from you. Oh yeah, here it is. Yulia Vavilova. Yulia Vavilova. And she's supposedly been traveling with him for a while. And the suspicion is that she's somehow involved in taking him down, like she's a honeypot, because she was posting all of his locations like without saying it was him all along the trip from her social media.
Okay, let's ask Julia. I've got her here. She's like, what do you want? Okay. Were you a honeypot for Pavel? She's a spy.
Yes, for sure she's a spot. That's what the oops, sorry. I didn't know there was a video there. Okay. So who was she hired by?
Who were you hired by? The US.
Oh, United States. Interesting. So is she a CIA asset?
Are you a CIA? I do feel she is associated with one of those alphabet agencies, but she gets contracted out, right?
Mm.
are you aligned to them? No, like it's sort of like a private contract.
Oh yeah, okay. So she's not like
She has taken many men down.
interesting. Okay. I think I read that possibly she has some relation to like the maybe the UA like in Saudi Arabia or the UAE or something like that where I don't know.
Are you affiliated with Saudi Arabia? Yes.
Okay. So that's where she's hired out from.
Is that where you're hired out from? No.
Okay.
Were
What
you hired out from the US?
okay, so I don't know a lot about her, so I guess she lived in the US before or
Have you lived in the US before? She's been all over. But this is what she does. She's very good at it.
she's a femme fatale, I guess is what they would
She
say.
is. She is. And I mean, look at that figure. I mean, she has a lovely figure.
Yeah.
Um, and she's very beautiful. I mean, I should imagine, tart her up really nice, and she's taken many people down. She's laughing as I say that. She thinks that's hilarious. She goes, "Huh, that's what I do. They fall for it every time. Are you married? No. Are you going to have children? No, no, not married, no children, and very, very wealthy. So how did you meet up with Pavel? He contacted her. Were you set up? No. Were you like, was it an arrangement? No. They were watching his movements, and then what? And she just happened to be around him and make herself no,
So was
no.
she opportunistic then? Like she knew that if she could get with him, then somebody would pay her to
Mm,
take him down.
that's a good question. Were you opportunistic? Did you know that if you could get in touch with him, that somebody would pay you? No, they paid her before. They paid her before. And she's not the only one. They've tried to have many other women to get in with him, right? But he didn't fall for it. He did
Oh,
with her.
oh.
So they tried brunettes. Uh, they tried Americans. They tried lots of different glamorous looking women, and this was their one.
Okay. And there's that, I don't know, it was that because she was, well, I think it said she's from Kazakhstan, so she's obviously from the same part of the world. So maybe that's why she was able to culturally be able to get in there more than the other.
He, why do you think that he allowed you in more than the others? He trusted her. He doesn't trust anyone, this guy. Not at all. Not at all. And this is sort of the inevitable. He knew that this day would come eventually. He just didn't know how. And I mean, he moves around a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so he stays out of the front. He's out of there. You can't, it's very hard to find him.
Right.
Um, and this was her idea to go to France.
Okay. So she knew what was gonna happen. He was gonna get taken down.
Did you know that he was going to get, yeah, it was all planned.
Okay. All right. Yeah, out of curiosity, have they had previous lives together?
Ooh, that's a good question out of curiosity. Have you had past lives together? Oh yeah. And she's always the honey pot. Um, he can't help himself around her. So I'm looking at a past life where he was actually married, and she's like the forbidden fruit, right? And he cannot help himself. She lures him in every single time. Um, and and then it's always the big exposure, the big reveal, right? His life always gets wrecked and ruined because she is so irresistible to him.
So what's the life lesson, learning lesson that has not been learned yet because it keeps repeating?
What is the lesson that has not been learned yet? it really is to do about trust. Like he does not trust anyone,
Mm,
anyone. And she knew exactly what to say, exactly what he wanted to hear. I mean, he was mesmerized by her beauty. Let's ask him, Pavel, do you believe that Yulia is capable of doing this? No, he doesn't believe that,
so he
right?
does not, he's not aware right now that he still trusts her, like at this point in
Do you
time when he's
still
in jail.
trust her? Yes, yes, he does,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So
that's not good.
are you aware that she's a spy? She's not. See, he's even arguing me. She's not a spy. Okay. That, right.
Oh,
But back in the past life, though, what is the life lesson? It really is about, he's a sucker for beauty, which, okay, that's nothing unusual. Um, but it's also about how cruel she is to him.
mm,
Like, even in this lifetime, he dismissed the red flags. There were many red flags about her behavior. She would often disappear for a few days
yeah.
and come back, and he just put up with it. I mean, he didn't. I'm saying at any time did you like have your security? Because he does have security. And do you have security? I mean, there is some sort of private security somewhere. And I'm saying at any time did you have her checked out? No,
Oh,
no.
really? Okay. Well, does he usually check them out, like background checks?
Do you usually check them out? No.
Oh, well.
And he doesn't really get into relationships either,
Oh, okay.
right? I feel that so strongly. Like, he may have hookups, but they don't know who he really is. They don't have a clue.
Uh,
This relationship I'm getting is, do you normally have relationships? No. Normally he swears off women. He thinks that's his downfall, right? With regards to his security, his business, and he never really wanted to ever be in any sort of relationship. And this one suckered him in big time. So he fell for it.
yeah. Okay. All right. So let's ask John, like what's gonna happen here? Is Telegram gonna get shut down or will he comply and change the system?
Is Telegram gonna get shut down? No, he will be given notice that he has to make a lot of changes and take a lot of people, get rid of a lot of accounts, put in monitoring software, monitoring things, especially when it comes to videos. That is the problem. The problem is the child videos. I'm telling you.
Right. Okay.
That's what the problem is.
Okay.
You know, drugs, maybe they're a little worried about it. I do feel that it is used by, you know, cartels and things like that.
Yeah.
That's not that's not their priority. I'm telling it's the videos.
Okay.
The videos of trafficked people tied up, the videos of children. Now,
So, okay.
with
Go
all
ahead.
due respect, why would anyone want that? You know what I mean? Like like what kind of person would allow that, right? Let's be honest. And
Yeah.
that's where I stand with that. Like if that was my platform and I want people to have a good space but that stuff you would have to if you need to. You need to monitor that. So let's ask him, why did you not monitor the traffic, the videos? Why were you not monitoring that? He says, because it's none of my business. And I think there's just a lack of maturity here. How old is this guy?
He's probably in his mid-30s or something like that, or maybe late 30s.
It's like, but I feel like he's led a pretty isolated life. That's just
Yeah,
lack of maturity. That's what's coming through very strongly. Like
yeah,
when you say it's none of my business and you're operating a big platform and you've got video, because I'm getting that so strongly from John. Like that, this is the problem. You know
yeah.
what? If it was just drug running on there, they'd probably turn a blind eye. But
Right.
it's the trafficking and the kids problem. And it is rife on Telegram. Okay, it is rife. And they want him also to comply, like, where are these people located? Who are these people? And he actually doesn't know. There's
Yeah.
no checks put in place for people when they join up. Now you may be able to help us with that, but I feel like there's no paper trail back to these people.
Well, if they download it through like an app store like Apple or Android, there would be. And if they use their phone number, there could be. But I mean, you need a phone number to use it. So, but anybody can fake that. Um, so yeah, it would be, there's ways to get Telegram, I guess, outside of the App Store. So that would be the way that they would use it anonymously. So
Is it because they're using it and all? Yeah, but they're also, the phone numbers are not registered. Like
yeah,
there's no paper trail. And that's the problem.
yeah.
They want the information and they go and they constantly ask, well, what is this? What is that? He does not he does not even respond. He doesn't comply. He doesn't give them any information. Whereas the other companies, even Elon Musk, if there's something like that on that platform, he's going to give up the goods, right? Because
Yeah.
even as I tap into Elon Musk, he's like, yeah, I'm not having that, right? I'm
Oh,
not,
for sure.
I don't mind free speech, but that is, we're not going into illegal activity.
Well,
And
since we
this
have
really is about illegal activity.
Elon Musk is, since we have him there, I mean, he's been quite vocal about, obviously, free Durov, and he's definitely on his side, because he sees him as someone that's, of free speech like he is and has a platform that's very popular. Um, does he feel like they're going to do the same to him?
That's a good question. Do you feel like, I'm probing Elon, do you feel like they're gonna do the same to you? No, because he's compliant. But the thing is, he doesn't know the full charges as of yet. Right
Mm,
now, it's kind of being sensationalized by the media
mm,
that it's it's anti-free speeches, and I can understand why the media takes that stance because it's free speech is under such assault at the moment anyway. But this is not about free speech. This is
mm,
criminal trafficking, PORN,
right,
child. That's what it's about.
right.
And I think that if those facts were presented to Elon Musk, as I tell him this now, how would you feel? No, he says he has to comply. You see,
Yeah,
there's free speech to a point, but when it's a legal activity, then that is absolute no, especially if you want to operate a successful business in most countries. And that's what Elon Musk is saying. So I actually agree with that. You can't have that stuff on your platform, like, because basically, if you allow that stuff, then I think that you are responsible. I do. I'm
yeah.
sorry. And I understand the whole thing of, like, you can't control criminals, but you have to have attempts to not allow that information to be shared. Now, why? Well, what's coming through very strongly is A, it's illegal. Obviously, it's disgusting. But B, if there's an outlet for that stuff to be shared, what John is saying, it just breeds more and more of it, right? Because they're selling it. They're selling these videos.
Yeah.
And so it's a place to sell and make transactions back and forth. It's safe to send these videos on this platform. And so what happens is it increases it, and it's a free for all. So I actually understand this now, because at first I was like, this is kind of weird, but now we got into it, and this is the big problem. No, that has to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to agree with that. I obviously nobody can condone that. So
No. So now we know, right?
yeah, now
And
we
this
know.
guy's
Yeah. Yeah.
toast.
It's
I'm
like,
telling you,
I mean,
he's toast.
from the outside, how it's happening right now, obviously with everything that's going on in Europe and with
Mm.
the threats from the UK to like, arrest Americans for posting social media. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff, because it's happening at this time, it just seems like it's part of that campaign. But maybe they're, because that's happening now, that's like a good time for them to do that, I guess, to go after what they really want to go after. I don't know. Or maybe it's just coincidence.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, it's very interesting. So our prediction, I guess, from here going forward is that he's gonna have to comply. Will he face we can ask John, will he face jail time?
Will he face jail time? No, because he has a lot of money to
Hmm.
put into his legal defense, and
Yeah,
he will be forced to comply.
right.
Or they will take Telegram down. They
Yeah.
will.
Okay.
Um, and based upon what we've learned today, yeah, I don't blame them.
Okay.
I started out on Telegram. I ended
Oh,
up,
that's
I didn't
right.
even know
Okay,
what
so yeah.
Telegram was, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's where I started out. I was asked to come into this investing group. I didn't even, and I don't like Telegram. This is years ago. And I was making all these sort of financial predictions, and people were making a lot of money. They're like, "Oh, thanks, Liz. I made 25 grand yesterday. Thanks, Liz. I made 50 grand, whatever." And it was happening all the time. So then word got out, and this group started getting bigger and bigger. And then you had a lot of faux a lot of faux psychics turn up, because obviously they thought that they could make these same predictions, and a lot of people started losing money.
Yeah.
And because I said something about it, they kicked me out of the Telegram group. So I was like, whoa, good. There's the best thing, actually, in hindsight, it was the best thing that happened that they kicked me out, because they were, and it was the other people posing as psychics that were complaining to have me thrown out. And I'm glad that they did, because, well, guess what? Those people that were relying upon those predictions, they ended up putting me on YouTube. And obviously, this is a much better outlet than Telegram. I didn't like the Telegram. I didn't like that it was constant, chatter. I didn't like that. And thousands of messages. I'm not going to read it. But yeah, I started out on Telegram making financial predictions. I didn't even know people would
It's
be
it's
interested in
very
financial.
popular for financial stuff, especially crypto. I mean, it's like gigantic for crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Gigantic. Yeah. It's where everybody has their groups and different channels and call channels. And yeah, it's been there since the beginning, you know.
So
Uh,
the crypto's fine. The financial stuff is fine, right?
oh yeah.
It's the videos.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Now, I didn't know you could send videos on. I mean, not that I ever tried, but obviously there's a way to post and there's a way to send,
Yeah, you can
and
send like
that's the
large
problem.
files. Like you can
Yeah.
easily, it's like the one platform where there's like no restriction on file size. Like I could send you a full-length movie, like no problem.
Then that's where the problem is. So going forward, Pavel, how do you feel? I mean, he's out, he actually needs to be on, terminating his life watch. You're not even, it's
Yeah.
like, see how censored we are? You can't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
say the word. But he's feeling like that. He would rather, at this time, as I am tapping into him right at this very moment, he would rather take that way out than have to deal with this mess
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. He won't. And I'm saying to John, and we did a video. John did. A lot of people thought that John did not and that he was, possibly targeted and no, he's the same. They will never take my freedom away. And that's how he did it. He exited. But for this guy, Pavel, he won't do it, but they definitely need to be watching him because he's really, really in that space.
Wow.
He will unravel this mess, but this is going to take a lot of years and a lot of his money. They're basically going to try to bankrupt him as much as possible, although he has money hidden all over the place and he's big. Are you big into crypto? Huge,
Oh,
huge into
huge
crypto,
into crypto. Yeah,
billions of
he's a
dollars all over the world in crypto. But and there's a reason for that because he kind of knew that this would always end up being the case. I mean,
yeah.
this is nothing new to him. This should not be a shocker to him. He knew this was coming, but I just feel very strongly like he is, you know, uh he's in a bad place mentally. So, yeah, I think we'll stop this one here. Thank you, Mr. Photon. We appreciate it. You did this one on the fly. You're awesome. You know so much. So Mr. Photon does have a tip jar down below. Please join us on the Patreon, patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. And I just want to give a big shout out to all of our subscribers on Patreon. Thank you so much. Without you guys, we would not be here doing this. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.